Hey, Shalom, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shah Yasha Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this lesson is going to be about patience. Man, what a weapon to have in these days. And in fact, we read this last night online at camp. This is Luke 21 verse 19. In your patience possess ye your souls. And this is heavy. Let me get this here let me go to the blue letter real quick. It says this, Luke 21 and 19. In your patience, this world has ran out of patience, if they even had it. They can't even stand online for 5 minutes to get some fast food without a terrible reaction. This is patience in the Greek.
5281. Hupomene.
Hupomene, which is steadfastness, consistency, endurance. In the New Testament, the characteristics of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose. Now, that's another thing too. These people, they get up in the morning. They have no purpose. They just want to go to work, make their money, get through the day. They start off their day with a, blunt, cocaine, soda, coffee, donut, just some type of stimulant just to get them going, which adds to them rushing, So they don't have a purpose. The Lord has given us this purpose and this truth, and to make it to the end through the straight gate, to endure this fight, to stay on point to how should I get here, to continue in this ministry, we got to flex patience, which is something these people don't have. That's a very special weapon in this truth. It says, and his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and suffering. And we know the greatest one is the hour of temptation that's coming. And these people, they're not going to be able to handle this trial and this suffering. Patience, steadfastness, waiting, a patient enduring, sustaining, perseverance. So patience go into waiting. And since school has started, I do a lot of driving for my plantation, so I'm always on the road. So I can tell you what's happening on the road. Through the summertime, the kids out of school, the traffic is light on the highways, light on the parkway. Since this week have started, since going to work, I just got here to my plantation and rolled past a 5-car accident. Yesterday, there was another 3-car accident on one side, 2-car accident on the other. These people are out of their mind because they're just constantly rushing. They have no patience. The Lord did not bless them with that gift, but he gave it to the hopeful elect at this time. And, we going to flex that gift because it's there for a reason. What's this here? Let me get this. Let's see here. Psalms 37:7. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently. Once again, that patience, that rest. We woke up this morning with a purpose. That's not to be in his kingdom. We're not in that proud spirit. Because, when you think about patience, you think about somebody that humbled down. And when you think about you rushing, you trying to meet your goal, that deals with a lot of pride. So you got millions and millions of people on the road every morning, every afternoon, every night with just pride, which leads them in each other's way. That's why there's going to be more fights, more commotion, more arrogancy. The Lord said pride cometh before destruction. And that Russian demon, they're not even thinking. People not even thinking. They just moving. In the scriptures, they tell you a wise man foreseeth the evil. In order to foresee, you got to see ahead of time. I mean, you got to stop, wait. You know, you walking with wisdom toward those that are without. You circumspect. They have none of these qualities. You know, the Holy Spirit is not dealing with them. Yahweh Shai has not plucked them out the world. They didn't pray this morning. They not going to pray when they get to their plantation. They not going to pray when they get off their plantation. They don't know the name Yahweh. They don't know the name Yahweh Shai. Their ultimate goal is to just fill their belly. Put something in their mouth, fill their belly, make their money, get their drugs, get their little high, and go get up tomorrow and do it all over again until it all just crashes and burns. So with us, that's why we got to be very circumspect who we around, the circles. You know, you might walk up to a store. I just don't look too, you know, you got to weigh out before you just walk up in the store. That might have just, you know, saved you a headache. Nah, I'm going to go to the next one, man. Just too many people in there. That's using wisdom right now. This is Psalms, once again, Psalms 37:7. Rest in Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his ways. And these people in the world, it looked like they prospering. Joker doing 90 hours of overtime. You know, ridiculous. All for nothing. All for nothing. I'm on my way to work. I'm looking at these fools damn near a 5-car accident. You know, one in the van was like a 16 passenger. You see all these Mexicans getting out, everybody dizzy, airbags. They scratching their head. One car looked like it almost flipped. You wonder how did so many cars get? Because they all tailgating each other. Everybody's rushing, going nowhere fast. And we know the Lord speeded up the time. So with the time speeding up, the people are moving faster. They don't even notice it. They haven't even stopped to think, why am I moving so fast? What's the rush? No, they just in go mode. But see, with the Lord, with us, we know how to wait patiently, humble down, let it go. You know, patience deal with just letting a lot of things go. I can't get this one. Let me go to that. Okay, I'm going to let that go. You go ahead in front. Well, let me hold this door. Let me move over here. You're thinking, you're foreseeing the evil, and you're able to hide yourself. Imagine when Jacob's trouble start. These fools in the supermarket fighting, killing each other, man. So it says, because of him that prospereth in his ways, because of the man that bringeth forth wicked devices. This is Psalms 40, verse 1. To the chief musician, the songs of David. I waited patiently for Yahweh. Once again, patiently. We have a purpose. We're waiting for salvation. What these people waiting for? A raise, a career, a relationship. What they waiting for? A new president? They want a Democratic president, somebody better than Trump. They have no destination. At least they think they got a final destination. Yes, they do. But for now, they just wiggling around planet Earth. And our job is to stay out their way. But it's truly amazing how they're rushing from sun up to sundown. They don't know what they're doing. So Akim, you know, the very few Akwaf out there that's sincere, we're blessed on a whole nother level. We're on a whole nother level. These are two worlds running right now. So it says, I waited patiently for Yahweh, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. And that's your prayer. Because when you pray, you're crying to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And we're praying, we're crying every second, every minute in his kingdom, because it's a blessing to make it back and forth to your destination. It's a blessing when you can make it through these animals, these savages, you know, make it home safe. You're able to do your videos. You're able to go to camp. You know, when you get around camp, you're around respectful brothers. You treat each other as if you are the elect. We're courteous. We're cheerful. We're loving to each other. This world knows nothing about that. They don't share. This is a very evil world right now. And a lot of this is just everybody's rushing. It's all about me, 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 me. This is Romans 2:7. To them who by patience, continuance and well-doing, seek glory and honor and immortality and eternal life. And that's what we after. So yeah, that deals with patience, man. Deals with humbling down, slowing down. Because this world is they about to hit a brick wall, Romans 5 verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations. So the tribulations we go through, we glory in. Yeah, it hurts. You know, this world, they don't want tribulation, so they running from it. Not knowing they ain't going nowhere. Tribulation's going to be there for them tomorrow. But we learn the glory of tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So what comes out of tribulations? Patience. Patience deal with suffering, meaning humbling down. This world knows nothing about meekness and humility. Pride goeth before a fall. And that's why they're in each other's way. Let me just get a few more here. It's Romans 8 and 25. But if we hope for that we see not, which is through faith, then do we with patience wait for it. And that's the second coming of our Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And that's only gifted to the Lord's chosen ones, his elect. These people are not given that faith to see the city, the faithful city that's far off. That's too much for them. They got to deal with the right now. And I mean right now. They got to deal with it now. They got to have it now. That's that Esau spirit. You know, Esau was in that spirit when it came to Jacob with his birthright. He had to have that meat. It was red. Esau said, I need it now. You can have this birthright. And that's the spirit that these people are in there in the Edomite mind frame. The Lord took us out of that. It's Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime, which is these prophecies, these scriptures, these stories about our forefathers, you know, Yahushua, the main example, how patient Yahushua was with the suffering. You know how patient Yahushua had to be with the people, man? While reading their minds? Imagine you know what a man is thinking about you, and you got to suffer him. You in the same room, and he cussing you out in his head, but he's all smiling in your face, all teeth. Yahushua had to deal with that. Yahushua is the greatest example of being patient, meaning humbling down. The greatest example of that. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So these scriptures, these revelations, these seals are here for the elect, the Lord's elect. So Yahweh Ratazah, we those men, we can make it out of here. And you won't have all kind of problems. You won't be stuck on the highway in a 5-car accident because you rushing, not paying attention. You just worrying about you. It says that we through patience, even when you're dealing with the scrolls, the seals, you're dealing with this doctrine. There's levels to this doctrine. That's why I tell you about the sincere milk of the word. Before you get to the meat, you got to grow in this truth, dealing with patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Now we have hope. What you rushing for? Ain't no rush, man. What's coming is coming. What's coming is coming. We learn how to appreciate these days, even though, you know, you're back here, you're hurting, you're broke. You know, time is moving so fast because once we're in Jacob's trouble, we there. We ain't got to rush. The time is just moving so fast. And these people don't understand that because it's not given to them. It's given to us because we have hope. But we walk in amongst the hopeless and they'll hurt you. And them rushing, you know, them being so angry and get out my way, move, get, you know, Ludacris song, move, get out the way. They in that spirit, they'll hurt you. You know, they described as animals for a reason. I'm going to read this here. This is the last one. This is Hebrews. I mean, there's a bunch of scriptures here, man, but, you know, I can't get to them all. This is Hebrews 6, verse 11. Then I'm going to jump down to 15. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence of the full assurance of hope unto the end. 15 verse. And so after he had patiently endured. So we're going to patiently endure. That's this walk. This is a patient walk. Even as it's speeding up, you learn how to speed up with the times, but also while slowing down so you can see. The only way to see properly is you got to slow down. It's the only way to see. So this is a patient walk while learning your pace, right? it says, and had patiently endured, he obtained the promise. And we trying to make it to the kingdom. We trying to make it past this thermonuclear destruction. We want help in a time of Jacob's trouble. So we got to constantly, patiently endure while walking circumspect, checking out your surroundings, knowing what's going on, staying out of these people's way, man. I gotta read. Lord's will, two more. This is Hebrews 10 and 36. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, you might receive the promise. So that dealing with the patience. You know, you've been in the truth 4 or 5 years. The weight of the world start weighing on you. You know, you're looking at the people in the world, look like they going places. You know, look like it, but they ain't going nowhere. These people ain't going nowhere but back home to wake up in the morning and repeat their hopeless lives again. That's why everybody's crashing out. That's why it's so bad out here. But why are we using patience? Because we're not of this world anymore. We don't want nothing here. We get our daily bread and we getting out. Y'all can have this. You won. You're the good guy. You're the tough guy. You're the muscle guy. You're the pretty girl. Whatever accolade you want, you got it. We trying to get out of here. So we got to move and do things differently from the people of this world. This is James 1 and 3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. So the Lord is going to deal with you. Your faith is going to be tried. But through those tribulations, once we overcome, Yahweh Ratzah, the Lord is building our patience. So with that, that's tough skin, man. To have patience, that's tough skin. You can endure a lot that these people are crashing out about. They just flipping out over the smallest things because they in that rushing, me, proud mind frame. When that patience is slows you down, now you're moving smooth. You know, you walking with purpose, thoughts and ideas, and what you say before you say it is calculated. They're not even thinking about what to say. They just speaking, offending each other left and right. So I just wanted to say a few words about that patience, man. I just coming to the plantation. I seen that. I just said, these people are animals. They all crawling on each other's back. But the Lord has gifted them with the ability to have patience, because with patience, you need hope. What are they hoping for? Everything's over, you know, for them. It's a dark world out here. Call Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, that the Lord Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah pulled us out, giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom Labakarium Shah Yasha Allah. That's peace to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel.